Hey, my name is Marshall Street, and this is Money Mauricio. And we made a couple videos ranking AEW tag teams, and now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting a whole new series, which every single week, before and after watching Dynamite, we're going to give you our thoughts and predictions on what's going to happen either in the future or if we're recording before. We're going to record before and we'll give our predictions, what we think is going to happen. So yes, it will be a weekly show which will get uploaded Thursday morning. It's going to be like a podcast sort of thing.
Right.
What was the other thing that I wanted to say?
You wanted to say that, for this particular episode, we're just going to be focusing on the main event, Dynamite, right? And then the next week, we're going to have the, recap of
yes.
last week.
We didn't get a chance to record beforehand, so we're just recording after. You're getting our fresh, live thoughts. Another thing. We were wondering if you would be interested in us live streaming our reactions to AEW.
Yes.
Either live streaming on YouTube or maybe in Discord. I feel like Discord would be a more a better way for us to connect because you can hear our voices. We can, hear yours, and we can, talk about what's going on in the match. I think that would be really cool. Or,
I agree.
What we can simply do is just live stream on YouTube, and you can chat what's going on. We feel it would be fun to have someone else to talk about it with. Maybe you would feel the same way. Honestly, we would do it if just one person said they wanted to. So, with that being said, let's get into
the matches.
Yes. Now you have a few more notes than I do. So.
Yes, I do. I have pretty much the whole list of today's match, which was in Austin, Texas. The date's obviously in this video, and what we start with is the tag team of Kenny Omega and Hangman Page against I already forgot who fought against. Who did they fight against?
SCU.
SCU for the title bout. And to start with that, obviously, they kept the title.
Yes.
Kenny Omega.
Yes, they kept the title. The last few weeks, they have been starting out with Kenny and a Hangman.
They have. I noticed that.
The week that we went in Miami.
Yeah. Or was the four-way tag team.
Yes.
To see who would get to face SCU. So, yeah, you're right. They've been starting most of the time.
They start off the show. I feel like the first two matches are supposed to just be super hype. And then they just get into, I guess, calmer matches.
Calmer matches, promos, add in, stuff like that.
Just to hype up the audience in the very beginning. But,
I think that's it.
Kenny won, but then after that... Oh, we had an interference with the Dark Order.
That's right. Yeah, I got it right here.
Yes, interference with the Dark Order right off the bat.
Yeah. SCU was still in the ring, so it was trying to hint on something of his... Daniels? I keep forgetting his first name.
Christopher Daniels, CD.
We thought it was going in that direction, but apparently not. It went... what direction did it go? They were trying to gang up on SCU, if I remember correctly, in the ring.
Yes.
And then more people started coming in,
the Butcher, the Blade, the Bunny, the Hybrid 2, which I never knew the Hybrid 2
was.
What
do you think about that?
Yeah.
Are they evil? They didn't really specify in the match. It was what did you make of that?
Yeah, the Hybrid 2, I never thought were bad guys. I never saw them as bad guys. I knew Jack Evans had a mouth on him, but I thought that was just his character.
It's not enough for it. Yeah,
I know he'd always like to shoot his mouth. I think that's the term. But yeah, it didn't make much sense to me. And then somebody else came.
Who else? On the bad side or the good side?
On the bad side, I think there was more people.
I think it was just that Butcher Blade. Apparently,
Hybrid 2, the Dark Order, all their gimps, and then the Young Bucks came in.
Best Friends came in.
Yeah, Best Friends came in.
Same. You know the routine with the Young Bucks. They gotta be the boys.
Yeah, they always save everybody. Exactly. Now, what that was supposed to be was to advertise for the next week's Battle Royal, the Tag Team Battle Royal.
Which looks like it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
And then
everybody's going to be a part of it. Private Party's coming back. I'm so pumped to see Private Party come back. I love Private Party.
Biggest fan right here.
Yeah,
Private
Party's
and of course, we cannot let this go unsaid. The Cassidy connection with Young Bucks, kind of almost out of nowhere, where they did.
Oh, yes.
I'm already calling that it's legendary. Number one, the 3-way kick.
Yes.
Cassidy kick between the Young Bucks.
Super kick.
The super kick of Young Bucks and Cassidy all doing it together. Not as an attack, but as a union, if you want to call it that, or just friendship, whatever you want to call it.
Amazing.
That was amazing. And of course, follow up right after that, a 4-way hug.
The first 4-way hug we've ever seen.
Yes. Straight to Cassidy with, of course, Best Friends and the Young Bucks. Moment of silence of just how amazing that was. What more can I say? I was not expecting it to be that amazing.
I wasn't expecting that either, and I thought CD was going to do a heel turn.
Yeah.
I was thinking because he ran off, and in the last 2 episodes ago in Being the Elite,
yes,
SCU found a Gimp mask inside CD's bag.
Mm-hmm.
So they, were confused, and that story is still going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've been teasing us a lot. I think it'd be really cool if he was a Gimp. I still want to see Matt Hardy as the Exalted One. His contract is ending.
Prediction time.
Kenny,
Matt Hardy as the Exalted One.
Yes, Kenny, make it happen, please.
Please. But in other words, we were basically just we thought they were going to continue with Daniels. In that moment, when it was not, it could have been disappointing, but luckily for us, Cassidy pulled through and showed us, just upped it up again.
Always.
Amazing.
Always.
All right, so next was, which is worthy enough to bring up, it was actually Santana's promo, his backstory.
Yeah.
What did you think of that? I thought that was surprisingly good.
Top notch.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how good that was. When it reminded me of Cody's promo, his Hard Times promo, because of just how good it was, and it was something that was supposed to hit home.
Yeah.
And something that was supposed,
which it did for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
As I was watching it, I was thinking, wow, this is so good. He's making all these statements about his father, how his father was blind, and you could tell that it was really just coming from his heart.
For sure,
and
the whole dark thing where it's comparing the two. Yes, my father knows dark way more than I do, and it's threatening Jon Moxley that way. Of course, we know what happens, but it was still a great promo. It really was. The only difference was that he's part of the inner circle, the bad side, as opposed to Cody.
Now, I didn't expect this out of him.
I honestly did, yeah.
I didn't know Santana had those type of acting chops in him, that he could deliver promos like that. I just thought he was a one-sided character, but now we find out he's dimensional. He's a dimensional character.
You mean added another dimension?
Yes,
that's the term.
Yes.
But you're gonna have to remind me one more time what their tag team is called.
Proud and Powerful.
Proud and Powerful. They're both growing on me, both of them. This episode with Santana, and then of course the funny one with the hair, Ortiz or whatever.
Ortiz, amazing.
They're both amazing.
We'll get to Ortiz in a little bit.
We will.
I have some notes about Ortiz.
All right. I don't want to intersect, but what comes after?
I have.
I want to make sure we get this in order.
Then the next match was Sammy versus Dustin.
All right. So before we get into that, real quick, we're going to do the Darby Allin promo.
Oh yes, the Darby Allin promo.
Right. That's next. We're going to talk about this real quick. It was really short, but really impactful, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
Darby does it again. He does it again.
Yeah, the last couple weeks, Darby's had some great promos. I really like how they're letting Darby do his own thing.
Yeah, really.
They showed the video the one time where he was in the body bag, and he was at the concert, and then he showed up in a body bag. That was really cool. I really love how they're giving him creative freedom, because with a wrestling company, it can kind of be hard to let someone do what they want, like Darby Allin, just as far out as he can be.
But I trust him, honestly, to do that, because he's so talented. And this promo was like, to cut to the chase, really just slammed Sammy on like, because that's who's challenging.
Yeah, and now there's going to be Sammy versus Darby Allin at the pay-per-view, which is great. More Sammy, which is great. Sammy has really started to grow on me ever since I've seen his YouTube.
His vlogs and all.
And then Darby, as just always, I've always loved Darby as soon as I saw him.
Yeah, and he's grown on me too. Definitely one of the best I've seen so far.
And then the whole signs bit, that was great.
Right out, yep. But in any case.
Okay, so Dustin versus Sammy. I kind of expected Sammy to break the fourth wall as he was walking down the aisle saying, "Oh, yes, I accept," something like that. But he didn't. There was no vlogging today.
Not this time, sadly.
But
it's all right.
Dustin did win. Dustin did take the victory.
That was almost domination by Dustin. I do not recall Sammy being in control at all.
No.
Dustin just cleaned house with him.
Yeah, but that's how it's going to be, because it's Dustin. They're not going to let, Sammy beat Dustin. But Dustin has taken some surprising losses in the past, putting people over.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, I don't know, because he's in the inner circle and he's a bad guy that, they're not going to do that.
Hometown, the hometown crowd.
Hometown, they're not going to let him lose.
You can't deny that. Yeah, you can't.
One thing I didn't like so much is that they were centering the match around how Sammy broke Dustin's arm in like the second week or the third week.
I think you mean Jake Hager. Wasn't it Jake Hager who broke his arm?
Well, I thought it was Sammy, because they were talking about it and saying that's why they were fighting, I think. Well, I think
that's incorrect. But I only say that because I know after the match, Dustin went and challenged Jake Hager, didn't he? Yeah, he called him out. He called out his MMA career, which was really funny because he's not doing bad at all.
Yeah, he's dominant in, I don't know, everything he does.
Yeah,
he's just on fire, and he just hasn't been fighting as of recently, if I'm not mistaken, because he's been wrestling.
Yeah.
But if Sammy was the one to break his arm, like I believe he was...
we're going to put a text here saying, like, fact-checking you right now on yourself, but...
No.
We're gonna go under the assumption that you're wrong right now.
No, we're going to go...
We'll see.
Okay.
Any case.
I think it was dumb to do a match...
Because of that only? Or
yes, because that happened so long ago. That was like in the first 2 or 3 weeks. Either way,
Dustin did bring it up, so yeah, it was a while ago.
Well, the commentators were bringing it up a lot.
True.
And I think it was dumb to revolve a match around that, because that just happened such a long time ago. Same thing with how when CD first came back, he wanted to fight, who was it, Pentagon? I think, one of the Lucha Bros.
Right.
And it happened like 3 weeks after he came back, 3 or 4. Yeah, I think 3 weeks. and at that point, everyone had just stopped caring about
it's tough. It really
how
is
he
like
injured
that.
him.
Yeah.
Because they should have done it the week he came back. He should have fought him. But they decided to do it 3 weeks later, just like now, how they're choosing to bring this up and have this whole match because of it a few weeks later.
All right, whether Sheets is right or wrong, there is obviously the promo of Dustin fighting Jake Hager, which is awesome. Finally, Jake Hager. Thank you for stepping into the ring finally.
Yes, Jake Hager versus Dustin at...
Was it Revolution?
Yes, Revolution.
Okay, at Revolution. All right. Next up, just to make sure we're...
it was another interview.
Interview?
Britt Baker.
Yes, Britt Baker. Finally doing, making the crowd hate her. In the right way, of course.
Yeah. The first couple ones were just so bad. They were boring. They were dumb. Starbucks, Mr. Starbucks, shut up. Who cares?
Oh, man. And then she finally, went to the crowd and insulted them.
And then
when she... up, finally.
Yes, when she finally started to insult the crowd, that's when the crowd got mad. Because she called them, Whataburger. And then Kenny's a savage in the back. Kenny's an absolute savage. He showed all the fat people. Everybody who was overweight,
savage,
he showed all of them.
But is it his fault, or did she suggest that? Let's think about that for a second.
Well, maybe she brought it up.
I know, she probably brought it up, and Kenny's okay.
Yeah, but he still put on the camera to all those people.
He did
ridiculous.
The action. That was pretty savage.
And then I don't think that the audience was cheering as loud as they wanted us to believe they were. Obviously, cheering as loud as we heard on TV. I think they definitely turned up the mics to make them super loud to push her as a bad guy because they're trying to push her as a bad guy for some reason. I still think it's stupid. Just talk about how she dates Adam Cole.
It's a lot better, but this is certainly, the better of the two other stupid things she did. But so it's all right. Whatever.
Yes. Each week she's getting better and better.
All right.
Each week she's getting better and better.
Any case, next one up, have you matched me up here? The Nyla Rose versus Riho?
And yes, but hold on. Before we get into that,
hold on. Wait.
Before we get into that, Brandy Rhodes was on commentary, and Brandy Rhodes' Nightmare Collective is dead. Yes. She was just talking normally. She didn't have her. He's just stalling
right now. He's just stalling right now. Any case,
this is part of my notes. Yeah. This is part of my notes.
It feels like stalling to me.
Brandy Rhodes on commentary,
pretty much said
not as the Nightmare Collective. And one thing I noticed about her on commentary is when she was in the Nightmare Collective, she was just dissing everyone. Yeah. The one time she went on commentary, she was dissing all the commentators, calling them stupid. But this time, she's still snarky, but it's a lot less.
To the ring, I guess the enemy per se.
Yes, I noticed she still had a snarky attitude.
It's all right.
That's all I wanted to bring up. It is less snarky. I thought she was just going to be nice and sweet and happy.
They brought up the events of, Cody last week, so they're just putting attention to that.
Yes.
And just... Let's be honest, it's over. The Nightmare Collective.
Yeah, the Nightmare Collective is dead. Me personally, I didn't hate the Nightmare Collective. I didn't think it was terrible, but it was true. We had too many factions recruiting, and one thing AEW is really good at is listening to their audience. When their audience says something, they just go... Matt and Nick Jackson just go, okay, we're done. We're not going to do that anymore.
At the very least, a second thought, thinking it over, which is just, it's great.
Or Kenny's the lead booker, so it's Kenny who does that.
Exactly, Kenny. And then, yeah.
All right,
that's all we have to say about that. Have my fun. I will have my fun because, ladies and gentlemen, Nyla Rose versus Riho in the shocking turn of events. Nyla Rose takes the belt. That little belt. It's a small belt, but ooh, what a shocker. I wish we were live streaming this particular one. We will try. If you guys want to do it, we'll do it. But like, you should have seen this guy's reaction. My reaction was ecstasy.
Dumb.
Woo! It was amazing. It was amazing.
So dumb.
No one knows my backstory on Riho, but I'll keep that off topic. Yes, Riho lost the title to Nyla Rose. Your thoughts? I already told mine. I'm ecstatic right now.
I think it's dumb. I think, yes, she should have lost the title. Ooh. But Nyla Rose was the last person. I thought she would lose the title.
I was not expecting
She came up out of nowhere.
That's true.
What? You just do a little 2-week build-up and then she loses the title? That's dumb as fuck. I'm just going to be honest.
Oh, man.
That is so dumb. A 2-week little build-up? Get that out of here. I don't want to see that ever again. Kenny, you're the booker. Why are you doing this? You booked against Riho. What the hell? On top of that, I thought
he was pissed. He was pissed after she got the match, though.
You know what? Fuck Kenny.
Yeah.
Go back to Ring of Honor.
Yo, edit some steam right there.
Go back to Ring of Honor.
Go back to Ring of Honor? What happened there?
This is what I'm thinking.
What's up?
This is what I'm thinking. She definitely should have lost it, but at the pay-per-view, because it is a pay-per-view, and that's when big things happen. AEW is completely different to WWE, and me personally, I've only watched WWE. I haven't really watched any of the other promotions.
Right.
If there's going to be a big title change, it's going to happen at a pay-per-view. So that's what I'm used to. So that's what I think should happen. I don't like the fact that she lost, her pay-per-view. She lost her title at a match that wasn't the pay-per-view. I think that's dumb. I'm not saying that all, titles should be lost at a pay-per-view, but most of them should, because that sells more tickets, and that just makes people think highly of the pay-per-view.
Bold statement to say for sure, like the tag team wasn't actually in a pay-per-view, right? Like the change? I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't.
No.
But that's just my old that's my old thinking. That's my old thinking.
And me just joining the game, I don't know what to feel. Hey, it was shocking. It was definitely shocking, wasn't it? But I'm sure Sheets doesn't like title belt changes just for the sake of shocking.
Yeah, that's
you
dumb.
Went to sleep.
It should have made more
hilarious.
Sense. It should have made more sense.
Yeah, I'm about to post my picture right over here just to see his shocked face.
Yeah, you
gotta
filmed
send it
it
to you. No, just a pic.
Yeah, we can.
Just your shocked face.
Man,
that's all it
if
was.
I want to edit the picture in, that takes work. Finding where we're at, 23 minutes. But
anyways, let's keep moving. We know you're devastated. Let's keep moving. Woo. All right, you gotta suffer through it for this video.
We had a pack promo.
We're going a little out of sync, but
what happened?
No, go ahead and do the pack promo. It's okay. It's a promo.
Okay. Pac had his promo. Pac's promos the last couple weeks have been really, really good.
Definitely improved from a couple, almost a month ago, where he didn't talk very much, or when he did, it wasn't anything spectacular. You're really pushing him up.
Yes. Sure. The more he talks, the more I realize how good he is on the mic.
He's the man.
And he's really good at his specific style. He's, I don't know enough about his character. I'll admit it. I don't know enough about his character and the way he is.
That's all you got to know. He's the bastard.
To, say if he can diversify himself with different styles of promos. He couldn't do I don't think he could do a promo on, how hard he's had it. I don't think that would work for him. I think he could only do promos on "I am going to kick your ass."
I'm showing that with that gym. With that lifting. You were eyeing that big time. That guy was.
Yeah, because Pac is ripped, 206 pounds, only 5'8". That is ridiculous. Man's huge.
He was lifting most of those blocks off. That was crazy. Go.
Yeah, some of the weight he was lifting was real heavy. Some of it was just to make it,
Flashing.
look
Gotcha.
easy for the video, so he could do it real easy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
all around really good. Really
the last
good.
couple weeks, Pac's promos have been good, and Kenny versus Pac at the pay-per-view, has that been announced yet, or is that what we're leading towards?
Shoot, I wasn't paying attention. There were so many announcements for the Revolution, I couldn't keep track.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted to overwhelm us with how many new things happened, with how many announcements and how much there was, because there was a lot. There was so much that happened during this episode.
Absolutely. Which I love.
Crazy.
I love it. It's amazing.
Crazy.
But just to build it all up and get us there, boom, where it all explodes in Revolution. So that was amazing. So he just skipped it over. It doesn't matter. MJF and Jungle Boy was.
Oh wow!
It's okay. It's all right. It's a match.
How
can you
skip over that?
Can't skip MJF. Ooh. As always, MJF just killing it out there.
Yeah, MJF.
He will take those ad breaks and just interact with the crowd like he's a specialist already.
I love that from him.
Mm-hmm. But all in all, great match. As always, MJF has to steal the win.
MJF steals the win because he's a bad guy, and then, how would MJF look if he lost? MJF has to win. He has to win.
And then from Wardlow.
Yes, and then after that, Luchasaurus came in after Jungle Boy lost.
Oh yeah, when they lost, they started beating him up.
Wardlow started beating the hell out of him. Jungle Boy came out. Luchasaurus came out, and they didn't fight actually.
Yeah, I thought they would be.
Interesting enough, Wardlow just left. Luchasaurus checked on Jungle Boy.
Just checked it on, and as long as Luchasaurus eventually gets to characters like Wardlow and Jake Hager, I'll be happy. But I'm assuming after Revolution, because there's so many storylines already going on. As long as Luchasaurus gives that look to Wardlow or Jake Hager, I'm satisfied, because I know it's coming up.
And just imagine, what the storylines are gonna be like. These little things that they've hinted at. Imagine what it's gonna be like after the pay-per-view, when they can get down to business with a few things. Obviously, Absolutely. MJF is still gonna have his bad guy thing. The Dark Order is still gonna have their whole story. But imagine what they can finally do, like with Luchasaurus, for example. Who is he gonna have a feud with? Jake Hagar, he's had trouble with Jake Hagar. Hasn't he had trouble with Moxley?
Moxley? That must have been a way back, because I don't remember.
I know that he's had trouble with Jake Hagar. Maybe that will be a thing. Apparently, Jake Hagar versus Dustin. Finally, we're using Jake Hagar. But I want Luch. I think,
as long as it's a big guy, I'm satisfied.
I think Luchasaurus should have his own things going on outside of the Jurassic Express.
Yeah.
Just like Jungle Boy has his own things going on, Luchasaurus should, and then Marco Stunt should just be in Sammy's
doing the
vlogs.
floss for the people. The floss for the people. Any case, last but certainly not least, Santana versus Moxley as the main event of today. An eye for an eye, looking dead at each other, both eye patches. All in all, a great match, honestly. As gritty, Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle up in the booth, watching from above.
Everybody singing the glorious
of course.
song.
What is it called? This actual song? My apologies if I don't know. But, does that have the word Judas in it? I feel like it does.
The song is called Judas.
Oh, just straight up Judas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Top 100 songs of the decade. Top 100 rock songs of the decade.
And they continued the trend of the crowd singing it once the music stops. Always nice. Yes.
Now, in the very beginning, Santana did typical bad guy things, and then hype match things where they started to fight before the match
outside
started.
of the ring, as always.
Before the bell
Always
rung.
nice.
And they just went around, fought inside the audience for a bit. One thing I did notice, which kind of struck me as odd, is that Ortiz, who was also there, didn't fight Moxley. They didn't double team him.
Yeah.
He just kind of looked on and cheered and was a little cheerleader. And
the bell did not ring. Yeah,
no, the bell did not ring. He never got involved until... Did he even get involved during
most of the time he was
match?
just yelling at Moxley. But
yeah, most of the time he was just yelling. He tried to get involved. There was at one point where he tried to hit him with his
good old sock.
With his cum sock, but he didn't.
Amazing. Yeah. And it's okay. Rick Knox brought them back into the ring. We those are the professional officiators, as you should know. The match obviously went towards Moxley just because it has to. It has to. Yeah. Predictable, but a good match in any case.
Afterwards, Ortiz started to beat the holy hell.
Like immediately.
Yes.
As soon as he got the 3 count, he immediately went over to beat him up. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, started to beat him up.
Inner Circle came down, ready to beat up Moxley pretty much for the rest of the run time.
Yes. I do have a quarrel with AEW. I do have to say something. Excalibur.
It's rant time.
Excalibur. Stop calling every new wrestler the hottest free agent in all of wrestling, the hottest prospect. Stop with it. Not every single wrestler that you guys sign is hot. They're not. Now this guy Jake Cobb, apparently I don't know who he is. Maybe I've heard his name. There was a bit of a pop from the audience when they said Jeff Cobb was here. I did look him up. He has a bunch of title wins. He's won the titles in New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor and a bunch of other
it's pretty good accolades for sure, to be sure.
And
like the hottest prospect.
Now, maybe so.
Maybe.
I don't know anything about him. I've never heard of him. But stop calling every single wrestler the hottest prospect, because they're not. Just like with Luther saying the death match legend. Nobody knows who the hell Luther is besides Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is the only person who watches AEW who knew who Luther was.
That's all we got to say about that.
But afterwards, Jeff Cobb did show up.
He did. Yes.
He was there. Chris Jericho said, "Come down to the ring. Come on, come on." Come on he came down.
Beat him up.
He did his finisher. Now this guy,
pretty good at his finisher.
This guy is ripped. This guy is utterly huge, and he wears those bodybuilder tank tops.
Yeah. Just
like all the big guys have. All the big wrestlers back in the day wore the big bodybuilder tank top sort of wrestling gear. He swung him around his body, threw him on the ground.
Moxley's huge too, so he managed to do that. That was impressive.
Yeah. And then Chris Jericho went over him, and who was it? Ortiz counted 1, 2, 3.
Jake Hager was posing.
Yeah, Jake Hager was posing.
That was nice.
And then...
Still hate you, though, but whatever.
Sammy, let's talk about the amazing flips that Sammy did.
Yes.
Sammy did, like what? You said it was a 640?
A 620 or a 640. I forget what the term is.
Did
but like,
two flips it's the maximum, and then landed.
It's the maximum of what a human can do at the top turnbuckle. Like, I've seen it once or twice. It's ridiculous.
And
I think he did it once. I think he did it one time. Any case.
Yeah, I think he's done it once before. Sammy did 2 flips. Amazing.
Yes.
And now Jeff Cobb is in the inner circle.
There you go.
Yep. So a bunch of crazy stuff happened this week. AEW over the last couple of weeks has been getting better and better and better. And the last few weeks have just been amazing. Such good episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really all I have to say. I'll give it an up. I give it a golden up.
Golden up, yeah.
Just because of how good it was.
All right. Get your outro in there, man. Go.
All right. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, tell us if you want us to do the live stream,
Discord, or what else?
Yeah, Discord. Maybe if that's what you want, we can start a whole Discord group and talk to each other and be buddies. That can be really awesome. Buddies. Mauricio, there's one thing you always remind me of. What is it?
Please hit that notification bell. Also.
Yes.
And that's all.
Yeah, we'll come back to you next week with our thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
See you.